Shalom, this is your brother Yeshemai. Before I get into this message, I want to start off by giving all praises, all glory and all honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. This is going to be a read from Proverbs 2. And this is, what is wisdom? Wisdom is knowing the name. And I know I say this a lot, but knowing the name is knowing who you are and knowing who they are. Knowing the name is knowing the mark. Knowing the name is knowing the breakdowns. Knowing the name is being able to read the scriptures the correct way. You see, for a long time, it's like having a hammer. You know, I remember when I first got my first job in construction. You know, I thought I knew how to hold a hammer, and I didn't even know how to hold a hammer because most people will hold the hammer from the top, but from the midpoint, but you hold that hammer from the bottom. But you don't know that until you actually need to use it. You see? And so I bring that up because for the longest time, we have been holding the hammer, the scriptures, our sword. We have been holding our sword incorrectly. Until you come into the wisdom and understanding of who Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is, you're holding that hammer the wrong way. But now, through the prophets, through the Kadash given to our apostles and our elders, we are now learning to hold the hammer and rightfully divide the word of truth the right way. And so this is Proverbs 2, because now that we hold that hammer the right way, you can now hit that nail and drive that nail in with just one swing. Bam! You're more, you like a samurai. You can now maneuver that hammer better. And so, in that maneuvering, we go back and we look at these scriptures and we see what they really say. So this is talking about wisdom. Let's start it at Proverbs 2 and 10. We're going to read it down into 12 verses. But, let's get it. When wisdom enters into your heart, and again, what is wisdom? I just went over that. Knowing who you are, knowing who they are, knowing what the mark is, knowing what the scriptures say. When wisdom enters into your heart and knowledge is pleasant unto your soul, and it is pleasant unto our soul now, because now that we know who we are, these scriptures are that much more holy because they were meant for us. And so these scriptures are pleasant to us. Listening to messages are pleasant to us now because we want to know more of who we are and how He is, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. But discretion, let's get verse 11. Discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. So you see, before we knew how to hold our hammer, when we were in the congregation of the dead, you would read over this and it wouldn't make sense. But discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee from what? It's talking about the end of things to come. Having the wisdom. Look, when that pandemic hit, I was in the congregation of the dead. It is only through His grace that even in the congregation of the dead, His hand was still on me and kept me from getting that. Gave me the mind to see what the statistics were of that disease. And so the benefits didn't, the risk outweighed the benefits, and so we didn't take it, me and my family. But this is talking about keeping you from the mark of the beast. Discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee. Why? Because now we understand what the mark is. And we understand why the mark is unredeemable. Because if you are to take that mark of the beast, you are committing the ultimate form of idolatry, the piercing of the skin. that man is putting his DNA into you. And we, as the Israelites, have one husband, and that is Yahweh Shai. And we have been given grace, but we have also been given mercy in the understanding of what that mark is. And so if you willfully take that mark, there is no coming back. Another man has put his name in you. And the only way for that to the only way for you to come back from that is through being destroyed. So and if you read further along, it's going to line up with it. Verse 12, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaks froward things. See, again, being in the congregation of the dead, as you read this, it goes from seeking wisdom to now talks about death. And so you don't understand it. But when you know how to hold that hammer the right way, you do understand it, because wisdom again goes into knowing who he is and knowing what's coming. So it's a very smooth transition for us now. Before it wasn't. Before you would look at these scriptures and think like, man, this guy's just jumping around. Well, no, he's not jumping around. He's talking about wisdom and deliverance. To deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaks froward things. Who is that? That's Esau Edom, because he's gonna come to you and he's gonna tell you that the only way for you to continue this society is to take the mark. Who leave, verse 13, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness. You know, this is going into delivering us even from 2/3 of our people that are going to take the mark and that are going to be ultimately destroyed. But it's going to keep wisdom, will be able to keep you from going down the path of evil. You know, knowing this truth, knowing who you are, keeps you from taking the mark, even though there may be other family and friends that are telling you to take that mark. You know, because that's exactly what they're leaving. You are leaving the path of uprightness. You know, what is uprightness? Uprightness is the law. You know, we are called the righteous, but uprightness is when we're fulfilling the law. And so when you take that mark, you're leaving the law, because the law commands us to not take any marks or piercings of our skin. And so, yeah, you know, we understand that a lot of us have tattoos, but that was when we were dead. You know, we don't walk in the same way. We don't believe in the same thing anymore. You know, we don't look for the new tattoo anymore. We don't look for that because of this wisdom, because of this discretion, like it says in verse 11. Let's continue on. Verse 14 is going to deliver us from those who rejoice to do evil. You know, 2/3 of our people and Esau, the so-called white man. And it's going to deliver us from those who delight in frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths. And their ways are crooked, man. There is nothing upright about them. He is being revealed it's being revealed that everything he says is a lie. Nothing works out. You know, he started off with women's rights, which was the biggest lie. And then he made you believe that he actually cared about you women. But now look at it. Now women are being beaten in boxing by biological men. He never cared about you. You know, his ways are crooked, because his way is only after the destruction of the world and more specifically the destruction of our people. He doesn't care about you, man. All these new inventions, these biometrics, this virtual reality, he doesn't care. He didn't invent these things because he cares about you and he wants to make your life simple. If he really cared about you, he would stop poisoning you. So he doesn't. So stop thinking that every invention and every app that comes out is for the betterment of you. It's not. It's just conditioning you for what he thinks is going to be his victory. His ways are crooked. All right, but you only know this through wisdom. Let's continue on. To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flatters with her words. What is the strange woman? Because it's talking about wisdom is going to keep you from the strange woman. And it's not talking about a prostitute. It's not talking about, again, before we knew how to hold this hammer, you would read this and you would think, oh, that's talking about a prostitute. Oh, that's talking about adultery, fornication. No, the strange woman is another philosophy. Wisdom, through this wisdom, you are now able, through the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, you with wisdom, you are now able to discern when somebody's going off. You are able to discern now when somebody's speaking, and now you can filter that. Okay, what does the truth say about it? What do the scriptures say about it? Wisdom keeps you grounded, and it keeps you from being picked up from any smooth doctrine, any soothsaying doctrine. Salakia, any soothsaying doctrine. That's what I meant. That's who that strange woman is. The strange woman is Christianity. The strange woman is other camps that are not teaching the 100% truth. That's the strange woman. Even from the stranger which flatters with her words. Verse 17, which forsake the guide of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her power. Again, falling out of the truth, or following a different doctrine. Wisdom prevents you from forsaking the guide of your youth. What is the guide of our youth? Well, our youth goes back to infancy, goes back to us being the chosen people. Deuteronomy 7:6. We are a holy people. From the moment that he chose us, that was our youth. And wisdom, once you have the understanding, wisdom prevents you from going off that track. Verse 18, for her house inclines unto death, and her paths unto the dead. Again, the strange woman is other philosophies, but wisdom prevents you from this, because other philosophies go straight to death. If you're not preaching the 100% truth, if somebody is not lining up, why are you taking your time in idle words, man? Because ultimately nothing good will come from it, but only death. Verse 19, none that go unto her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life. And now this goes back into the mark now. None that take the mark return to the youth again. You have to be destroyed. Neither take they hold of the path of life. What is the path? How can you take the hold of the path of life if you already are alive? It's talking about eternal salvation here. Verse 20, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. Now, who are those good men? Is it talking about people that behave? No, the good men are the Israelites. That thou may walk in the way of good men. See, we are called to abstain from this world, and to abstain from your markings. We're called to abstain from your philosophies. That is walking in the way of good men and keeping the paths of the righteous. Well, how do you make a path? These paths have already been set for us, first of all, through Yahweh and his law and his commandments. But even then again, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, through his love, sends us apostles and prophets to show us again, to bring us back and show us a path. Hey, this is what we ought to be doing. This is what this scripture says, That's the way. That's how we walk in the way of good men, and that's how we keep the path of the righteous, because we are the only righteous people on this planet. All right. So the path of the righteous is the path of the Israelites, for the Israelites. All right. Verse 21, for the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. What does this mean? What does this mean? See, again, when we don't know how to hold the hammer, when you're in the congregation of the dead. These proverbs seem like they're jumping everywhere, but this is what it's talking about. Because it's talking about at the end, Romans 11 and 26 states, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. And then it also goes 2 parts thereof. I think it's Zechariah. 2 parts thereof shall, KJV, I think it's Zechariah 13. And it shall come to pass that in that land, says Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So with that understanding, you go back to verse 21, for the upright shall dwell in the land ultimately. Yasharallah, all of Israel will be saved. Just like we read in Romans. Now, 2/3 will be destroyed. And so that's what verse 1 is talking about, because though they are destroyed, when they come back through reincarnation, the upright, being the Israelites, shall dwell in that land, in rulership. And then, but there's a separation, and the perfect shall remain in it. The perfect, those that didn't take the mark. Those that didn't take the mark shall be saved, and they shall remain in their good standing. Okay, so if you remain in your good standing and you pass the test, what does your teacher do? If you pass the test with your employer, what does your employer do? He sets you on high. All of Israel shall be saved ultimately, yes, but those that abstain from the mark and those that stay in the path of the righteous, you will have a higher place in that land. What is that land? Eternal salvation, our final rulership, us being in the position that we were destined to be since the creation of time, since the creation of man, Salakia. Since the creation of time too. Verse 22, but the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Okay, verse 22. Let's break that down. Very easy now. Now that we know how to hold our hammer, we know that the wicked is Esau, the so-called white man. The white man shall be cut off from the earth. Why? It may sound bad to you, but because he's destroying everything. He's destroying his own people. And more importantly, he's destroying the apple of Yahweh's eye. The Israelites, you so-called blacks, natives, and Hispanics. Verse 20, continuing on. And the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Why? Because right now, their roots is on the earth. All right, they are steady and firmly planted in their rulership on this earth right now. And so that's going to be rooted out. All right? Because as we know, the scripture that says that the beast had a wound that looked deadly, but it was healed, talking about the Roman Empire being rebirthed again, this time you're going to be rooted out. There ain't going to be no deadly wound. It's going to be death. All right? You shall be rooted out from the ground. Once you take the root out, once you take the plant and the root out, it's not coming back. And that's what the wicked has coming. And who is the wicked? I mean, we know this to be, we all know this, but who is the wicked? The wicked is the one that controls the world, according to Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who runs the world right now? What currency is used and accepted everywhere? What language is spoken by every pilot? What group of people control all of the media, all the food, all the water? What group of people control the world through puppet governments and coups that they install? What group of people influence the way of the world? It's It's America. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not there, who is he? So we went to Job 9:24 to show you who the wicked is, because it's talking about the wicked is going to be uprooted. Well, now that we know who controls the world, Esau, Proverbs 2 says you will be uprooted. All right? And I do want to point out that it says it's given, because we have some of these Edomites, so-called white people, that think America was, they deserve this, that they worked hard for it. You didn't work hard for it. It was given to you, according to Genesis 27. You shall live by the sword. You are that red horse that a great sword was given to take peace from the earth. The sword was given to you. It's not because you were smart. It's not because you're better. It was given to you. That is your blessing. But you know what also was given to you? The prophecy of destruction, just as we read it in Proverbs, just as is mentioned in Obadiah. That has also been given to you. Matter of fact, no, that's it. I don't want to continue harping on. I was going to get Lamentations, the cup shall. We drank from our cup, yeah. We drank from our punishment, and you've been drinking from, your cup too, You've been enjoying your blessing, but wait a minute. There's another kind of wine coming to you. This the same cup that we have drank from, but your cup of wine is stronger. Your cup of wine leads to death. Ours was only chastisement. So I hope that this lesson has been edifying. It just shows you what wisdom does. It shows you what the truth does. Because again, when you don't know how to hold that hammer, you read Proverbs, and it seems like it jumps around, but it doesn't jump around. It's talking about the same thing. It's talking about the only thing. What is the main thing? The main theme, even. The main theme is Jacob and Esau. Jacob, the Israelites, and Esau, the so-called white man. It does not jump around. You just need the wisdom and the discretion, which I thank Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, that he has that he has given me the opportunity to have the ear to hear. So I have been renamed Yashamai, because that is all that I am thankful, that I can hear the truth, and I pray that I continue to grow in it. So I hope this lesson was edifying, and for you brothers that are listening in, shalom. Let's continue to push through.